We hope you enjoy this audio-only podcast. You can watch the full video versions on our YouTube channel at All Things Unexplained. There we share visuals, documents, and extended discussions you won't hear anywhere else. But for now, enjoy this audio version of All Things Unexplained.
All Things Unexplained.
So some of that, I think, sir, will save for closed session.
All right, Unexplained Ones, this is Dr. Mounts, and welcome back to All Things Unexplained. If you joined me last night, I was live with Brent and author David Koning, and we did a show on the mysteries of Disney, so I hope you enjoyed that. Today, I've got a quick update on the missing scientist, specifically a new FOIA request update by All Things Unexplained in the Reza case, and some very sad news. Tragedy has struck a UFO researcher who passed away on Monday. We're going to get into those updates, but first, remember the best way you can support the show is by hitting the subscribe button and commenting on the videos. Plus, that will enter you into our giveaways, and I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of this video. First, let's look at the headline from The Independent. UFO researcher David Wilcock found dead in Colorado, coroner's office confirms. The subheading says David Wilcock's death follows an explosion of conspiracy theories about an alleged string of deaths of people tied to sensitive research. I will say that David Wilcock seems to have preceded me in ufology. I did not know David Wilcock, but this is certainly sad news. David Wilcock was a UFO researcher. He was 53 years old. He lived in Boulder County, Colorado. The office of the Boulder County coroner confirmed in a statement that Wilcock took his own life just after 11:02 a.m. on Monday, April 20th. The details of the incident were first reported by the Boulder County Sheriff's Office, which shared a statement revealing that they received a call around 10:44 a.m. that same day. During the call, the individual appeared to be experiencing a mental health crisis. Upon arriving at the property, which was northeast of the community of Nederland, they found a man with a weapon. The coroner's office has confirmed that this man was Wilcock, who turned the gun on himself. Deputies searched the residence and surrounding property and did not locate any other individuals. The statement said, "There's no known threat to the public." Now, to make this case even more disturbing, 2 days before his death, Wilcock shared on X, "Dear family, I am not yet sure if I am doing a show tomorrow. I've had some very intense stuff going on this weekend. Either way, I want y'all to know how much I love and appreciate you. Always remember that the Creator is within, and we live in a loving universe." The article goes on to point out that we have had lawmakers and the president talking about these scientists. And President Trump told reporters on Thursday that the disappearances were pretty serious stuff. And we know that Anna Paulina Luna and others are pushing to look into the story of the missing and deceased scientist. I have also heard reports that David Wilcock was working on a book and that his co-author had passed away not that long ago. I do not know the details of that, so I'm not going to speculate, but I did want to share what I had heard. You know, there can be little doubt that mental health is one of the greatest crises facing modern society. The state of humans' mental health now is a true epidemic. It's part of why I'm a big believer in being a part of a group. I'm a big believer in things like youth sports and being a part of a team. It's why I don't care what denomination you are, but it's one of the core functions that churches should play in our society. Giving people a group to be a part of, giving them somewhere to go and fellowship together. Some of you know that I taught a college bowling course for 10 years, but in 2020, we thought that that class was done. It didn't even make for 2 or 3 semesters after COVID. I mean, you can't exactly have a face-to-face bowling class when the bowling alley isn't even open for business. And it was because of that that I kind of reframed the way I saw the class. Once we were able to go back to class, I told the students, hey, I want you to put your phones away and I want you to talk to each other. I want you to get to know each other's names. I want you to socialize. It is a blessing that we are allowed to gather here together and fellowship with each other. It's also one of the things I realized on Beast Games is that anybody that I knew their name, or if they knew my name, for one thing, they were much less likely to screw you over. But for another thing, you just acted different around people who you knew the names of. You felt more like you belonged. You felt more like the other people appreciated you simply by knowing your name. It's part of why I really enjoy Bigfoot festivals, because you go, you eat, you drink, you meet new people, you have a good time, you socialize. Most of the time they're outdoors. It's just one of those situations where you have the ability to get out of the house, go outside, and socialize with other people and fellowship with them. Even if you don't believe in Bigfoot, it doesn't matter. You get you a turkey leg, you get you a beverage, you listen to some bluegrass music, you meet somebody like Turtle Man, you buy a t-shirt or 2 or 3, you talk to all the vendors while you're there, and you just have a great time with other humans. You know, I often remind people at the end of the videos to get out and take some time to themselves outside. But I encourage you to get out and take some time with other people outside as well. The ability to gather together and fellowship with one another is indeed a true blessing. And it is one thing that we can do to help our own mental health, but also to help the mental health of others, even if we don't know that that's what we're doing. And now for my second update regarding Monica Reza, or Monica Jacinto, aerospace engineer who invented the superalloy Mondaloy. She went missing on June 22nd, 2025, while hiking in the Mount Waterman area of the Angeles National Forest in California. She was with some companions. We know at some point one went back to base camp, one hiked further ahead, and when the one that went further ahead came back, they did not cross paths with Reza, continued on back to base camp. All of the party said, "Hey, where's Monica?" They went back out searching, and she was completely gone. And of course, she is still missing. We know that she connects to General McCasland, who went missing in Albuquerque in February. A repairman was at their house. Wife went to the store, came back about an hour later, and McCasland was gone. Apparently, he had left on foot, and there's been no trace of him since then. Reza connects to McCasland because of Mondaloy. She co-invented it with Dallas Ann Hardwick. Dallas Ann Hardwick was very involved with the AFRL. Aerojet Rocketdyne picked up Mondaloy for development along with the AFRL, that's the Air Force Research Laboratory. There's no doubt that during its development phase that McCasland was in charge of the AFRL at that time. And Dallas Ann Hardwick was very involved with the AFRL. Dallas Ann Hardwick passed away in 2014 due to stage 4 breast cancer. But that certainly left Reza as the foremost expert in this superalloy, Mondaloy. And if you missed my video on how Mondaloy could connect to a near-Earth asteroid that is of literal planetary defense importance, that asteroid has some incredibly anomalous things going on with it. And we know that some terrible things have befallen some of the researchers looking into that asteroid. And you can see the other videos in this playlist. But I did get a FOIA update from the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department about Monica Reza. They said that on March 18th, we extended the time to respond to your request by 14 days due to the existence of unusual circumstances under Government Code Section 7922.535 Subdivision B. Specifically, our office, among other things, needs to search for and collect the requested records from field facilities, such as bureaus, stations, units, and other departments that are separate from the PRA unit. At that time, we anticipated being able to provide a response by April 13th. Although the above date has passed, this does not mean that there are no responsive records. We are continuing to process your request. The Los Angeles Sheriff's Department estimates that it will be able to provide you with a further response by June 26, 2026. The status of your request is under review. All right, what's confusing to me about that is that you would think a missing person case of national relevance, a case which is still open so far as we know, that these records would be a little bit more on hand, a little bit easier to access. For the life of me, I cannot fathom why it takes so long to get records to very important cases. But that's where we're at right now with the Monica Reza case. We've had no new updates on McCasland. I made another video on NASA JPL scientist Michael David Hicks, who was again working on near-Earth asteroids, specifically a very anomalous asteroid, an asteroid spinning faster than any other known object in the solar system, an asteroid whose study is important for planetary defense itself, an asteroid that is accelerating. It has non-gravitational acceleration. Sometimes these asteroids, as they approach bodies of different size, they can accelerate because of the gravity. Sometimes they can accelerate due to gas expulsion or that sort of thing. But there's no evidence of any of those things happening with this asteroid. So check out the video on that. We've got another UFO researcher, David Wilcock, that has lost his life. We've got missing scientists. We've got missing generals. You know, All Things Unexplained has been tracking this stuff for quite a while. We know that this is absolutely happening in other countries as well. For years now, All Things Unexplained has had scientists on this show tell us privately that they're afraid, that they've had colleagues who were attacked by direct energy weapons. And we know about the 60 Minutes report on Havana Syndrome that they've been working on for years. We've had scientists on the show tell us privately that they will not leave the country because they are afraid of what might happen. So I think this story is much more serious than people realize. I understand that some of these scientists may not connect at all, which I'll link you to. And I know that we can probably take all of them and attribute some prosaic explanations to them. Reza, for example, ended up hiking by herself in a very treacherous area, an area full of huge boulders, deep ravines, caves, and mountain lions. Huge mountain lions. I'm talking 150-pound mountain lions. And I hate to think what could happen if you stepped off the trail, like our friend YouTuber Pharaoh pointed out, and went to the bathroom. You know, if you broke your ankle and you're stuck there, no cell service, and one of these monstrous mountain lions wanders up upon you, then it's horrific. But we have to realize that in a sad situation like that, you might not ever be found. I've been looking into other missing persons cases for which I've turned up some other really mind-boggling things that I never knew about that could explain some missing persons for sure. Not quite ready to talk about those things just yet though, but stay tuned. We know that McCasland seems to have been in some state of mental and physical decline. We hear the anguish in his wife's voice on the 911 call. And I've experienced the pain of a declining loved one myself. So I know that it's a terribly difficult situation. There are reports that NASA JPL scientist Michael David Hicks died from natural causes. I believe he was 59. Again, we can certainly assign prosaic explanations to probably all of these cases of the missing scientist and others. But it's when you realize how many of them we're dealing with and the connections that are there that you realize there is something more to this. There's no way that all of this is just unconnected. There's no way all of this is a coincidence. All right, remember to subscribe, comment on the videos. That will enter you into a chance at our giveaways. We've got a lot of great books and swag to give away. Some Sasquatch Coffee Company coffee, signed books by author David Koning, who was just on the show, by Patricia Cornwell. A little self-promotion here. I've got a children's book coming out this fall, The Legend of Squatchy Hollow. That's another in my Bigfoot children's book series. And I want to remind everybody to take some time this week, get off your screens, get outside. You won't believe how much better you'll feel just after spending a little bit of extra time outside. Head out into the woods, look up at the sky. You may not spot a Bigfoot, you may not see a UFO, but you might just find something even more important out there, and that's yourself. Take care, everybody.
All Things Unexplained.
So some of that I think, sir, will save for closed session.